In the meantime, the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto Diocese, Kukah, has criticized the mode of distribution of palliatives to Nigerians amidst the severe hardships facing the country. Following the removal of fuel subsidy, among other economic policies, governments at all levels have implemented palliative measures. Some measures include distribution of food items to the vulnerable in an effort to alleviate the hardship. Reacting, Bishop Kukah faulted the distribution of palliatives, adding that the people most often don't get them. He noted that a good part of the money meant for such is always stolen. Besides the issue of palliative, Kukah spoke on the country's need of healing. He urged the government to fix insecurity issues in the country. To discuss this, I'm joined by Public Affairs Analyst Ahmed Husaini. Ahmed, thank you very much for joining us. This is about the third time in so many weeks. This time, they defied security presence to loot both government and private food items. The Chief Press Secretary in the state says this has never happened before. What worries you about this latest incident?
All right. I think this is experience has shown that whenever there is some economic hardship, actually people or citizens resort to extreme and desperate measures in order to get food. We've seen that during the lockdown as a result of COVID-19 pandemic, where we've seen a lot of looting and breaking of warehouses across various states within the country, and we're also seeing it now. But the difference is during COVID-19 there was a general lockdown that prevented people from going about their normal daily economic activities. But right now we don't have any restriction about economic or any other social activities of the people, but then people are also breaking into those warehouses. This actually demonstrates the level of poverty across the country, the level of economic hardship actually the ordinary Nigerian citizens are going through. And if this trend continues, then nobody is safe, because some of the big victims of this kind of looting are actually business people who use their legitimate income to purchase food produce. And as a result, the situation will keep exacerbating, because as long as business people actually are not comfortable or do not feel secure enough to procure food items and warehouse them and keep them, then definitely the hunger in the land is going to exacerbate, because they cannot they will actually stop buying this food products, and then the prices will keep going up because of scarcity, and then the economic hardship will only deteriorate further.
The pictures on the screen is quite worrying, but you have the governor of Bayelsa State, for instance, and now the Bishop Kukah saying that offering palliatives is not the solution to the hardship in the country, even though they're not completely against it. They're suggesting that they should put in place the right structures and systems to address the challenges, the economic challenges, that is. But required solutions are immediate, because people are hungry. They want to see food in front of them. What options would you recommend to the government? Building systems take time.
Yeah, so I think the reason why it is called palliative is because it is a short-term measure aimed at ameliorating the suffering of the people. But then I think Nigeria, to my knowledge, is the only country that is not at war or facing any significant natural, disaster that is actually distributing palliative, to the citizens. And I quite agree with Bishop Kukah that it is quite, undignifying to ordinary Nigerian citizens, because what the government should have done, because all these issues are actually, caused by actions or inactions of the government. I don't want to blame the present government or the past administration, but what we know is that Nigerian it is actually a failure of leadership across the country. And
so what I'm actually asking is a recommendation, because you can see from that video and from the comments that have been repeatedly put out in the public space, the concerns that these palliatives also might not get to the people that need it. Maybe that's what is exacerbating incidents like this. So I'm asking you for recommendations on how maybe the government can, better manage the palliative situation, or long-term solutions. But there is hunger in the land. Complicated, I know.
So there are actually no quick fixes to the challenge we are facing. Yeah, actually, yeah, there should be some, solutions that are immediate. There should be solutions that are midterm, and then there should be longer-term solutions that the government should target. Immediate solutions is actually to provide palliatives in a way that reaches, the most vulnerable, those people that deserve it or that require it the most. And then secondly, then government must actually take active measures to ensure that there is security in the land, because ordinary Nigerians people have accepted to live their poverty in peace and stability. So if you give them security, they can go to their farms, they can go about their normal business activities, then they don't need to queue up actually and be collecting food hand out from politicians. So these are the medium to long-term measures that the government actually should provide to farmers, not just peace and security. Security here is the most important, but also some kind of interventions in terms of agricultural input like fertilizers, and also ensuring price guarantees, at the produce market, so that actually farmers can actually get some commensurate return on their investment in their in agriculture. So these are, for me, the medium to longer term goals. But the immediate one is actually to ensure that these palliatives are actually reaching those people that need it the most. And there are a lot of leakages and corruptions, everything and a lot of politicization of the whole process. And the government needs to sit down and look at how to actually insulate this kind of activities from politics and ensure that people who are actually most vulnerable in the society are able to get this food. If this cannot be achieved, then the consequences can better be unimagined.
Aside corruption and other mismanagement issues, one of the concerns that Bishop Kukah raised was banditry and kidnapping. He's asked the president to give a timeline within which to eliminate it and other security challenges in the country. Is it possible to give a timeline? Can we give a timeline to a government who inherited this dire situation?
Yeah, actually, the issue of timeline is quite tricky. I would rather say we come up with some specific goals and targets, say maybe reducing the number of incidents or eliminating such incidents here within some time frame. But then we have to actually attach a goal to this timeline. So yeah, I agree with the bishop to some extent, but I think we need to be very careful at also looking at underlying root causes of the conflict in especially the northwestern Nigeria, where the issue of banditry and kidnapping actually is becoming quite an epidemic. So these, for me, these are the kind of things that the government need to do in order to ensure that these activities or the scale down of these activities, and we have to involve local stakeholders, because the solution to these problems are actually local. Right. Federal government cannot just, go to these communities and impose some form of solution, because if you look at it, there are a lot of cultural, social, and political, context behind this kind of conflict. And unless we address these, with a comprehensive, we come up with a comprehensive strategy to actually address, these challenges, head on, then we can only be trying to treat the symptoms instead of tackling the entire disease itself.
Quite true. Thank you very much, Ahmed, for speaking with us.
It's my pleasure.